What's good, Fin Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason. It's Friday night. We are back here for another one to close out the week. Just a quick programming note. I will be on Dougley Durong's channel on Sunday night. We're going to be doing, I believe, a little bit of a roundtable discussion. So you'll be able to catch myself over there on Dougley's channel. I appreciate everyone for tuning in. Hope everyone is having a fantastic Friday. Shout out to Red Comet, Barry Bailey, Don, Yawa, Andrew Harris, Tucalosa Sosa. Appreciate all you for coming out, man. Joe, Jacob, Marino's Goat. Appreciate all of you, especially all of you who followed along. JLT, how you doing? All of you who follow along and watch me absolutely bury a Bills. Can I even call this guy an analyst? I don't even know what the hell he is. Shout out to Omar. What's going on? Barry, I used to watch UFC hard back when Silva was around and stuff. I was a huge Silva fan. What up, Kieran? But I don't know if y'all caught this guy. How do I pronounce his name? Nate Geary, whatever the hell his name is. He does work for Cover One, and he's like, "Oh, we got 10,000 subscribers. I do more views than they do." Okay, and I'm like, "Yo, you guys are clowns. I crushed you." All right, and this guy is trying to tell everyone out here, okay, with a serious face. This guy's trying to tell everyone that Cam Newton, Zach Wilson, and Mitch Trubisky are better than Tua Tagovailoa. Like, what world is this guy living in? And then he has the audacity to say that he used to be a quarterback in college and he breaks down film. Bro, like I said to him, one thing to watch film, another thing to understand it and know what you're looking at. Okay? Guy is an absolute clown. And by his standards, I guess they should have got rid of Josh Allen after year 2, right? Am I right? How's that working out? Absolutely idiotic, man. Fools out here. Starts a pissing contest, and I absolutely drag him from one side of Twitter to the other. And he's like, "Oh, a network guy having a pissing contest with a podcaster." Yeah, bro, one that you started, one that you took an L in. Get out of here, bro. Unbelievable. Guy actually thought he was gonna beat me. Are you crazy right now? So that's now 2. If you include Matty Infante and this clown, that's 2 guys with 10,000+ followers on Twitter, and your boy over here with about 3,300 absolutely owning them, destroying them. Okay, and then they get ratioed because all the Dolphin fans come in and absolutely drag them. I love it. It's messing. He didn't block me. No, he didn't. He stopped responding to me because he knew that was a good idea. But absolute idiot, man. He got absolutely owned. So I don't know what to say, man. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna bookmark this so I can tell you when, I can come back in January for my apology." I said, "Don't waste your time bookmarking it. You clearly need to learn how to watch film and evaluate the quarterback position. Stop wasting the time bookmarking it. Every second counts when it comes to you learning how to evaluate the quarterback position, you idiot." So I just absolutely owned that fool. It was a classic. I actually took time out of my afternoon nap. I was going to lie down for a nap. I took time out of my afternoon nap to just destroy him. And I mean, Zach Wilson hasn't played a freaking down in the NFL. And if anyone's actually watched film on Zach Wilson, the guy makes his plays outside the pocket. He's actually not that efficient inside the pocket. 1. Cam Newton? Are you serious? Cam Newton got massively outproduced by Tua Tagovailoa last year and played more games than Tua Tagovailoa. That should tell you where Cam Newton's at in his career, and he can't even hold off Mac Jones, who couldn't hold a candle to Tua Tagovailoa. Then it's Mitch Trubisky. If Mitch Trubisky was better than Tua Tagovailoa, you think he'd be off the Chicago Bears right now? Give me a break. So people out here saying, "Oh, I break down film studies." Well, you know what? A, I don't have time to watch those. B, if I ever need something to laugh at because life's getting me down, I'll make sure to throw on one of that guy's film studies and just laugh my ass off. But other than that, I hope everyone's having a good Friday night. Clump, where you at, bro? I told you I'm gonna get at you. I'm getting at you, Clump. Getting at you, Clump. So me and Clump, we got a little friendly bet. Well, not a friendly bet. We got a bet going on. If I win, I'm getting a Waddle jersey. So size me up, Clump, wherever you're at. And if he wins, this guy wants a Kyle Pitts Atlanta Falcons jersey. And you call yourself a Dolphin fan, Clump. Come on, son. Come on, bro. And the bet is who outproduces who. I'm taking Albert Wilson. He's taking Lynn Bowden Jr. In our private chats, this guy is absolutely convinced that Wilson gets cut. And I'm like, I don't know what you're smoking because it's more than meat over there, bro. Hey, Tony, I know he's Gators first, but getting an Atlanta Falcons jersey, bro? Come on. Come on. Stop. Then he has a blue Gators jersey. Then make me get you a white Gators jersey. Or he has the blue one or the orange one. So make me get you a Gators Cal Pitt. Don't be out here getting an Atlanta Falcons jersey. Come on, son. Anyways, here's the thing, Clump. I'm coming for you, bro. Because he thinks it's wild that I think that, here's the thing. I didn't even say I predict Wilson will get 800 yards. I said I could see Albert Wilson getting 800 yards. But I am saying he's getting, get him a Jags Tim Tebow jersey instead. You're right, Justin. But here's the thing, though. I do see him getting 70 plus targets. And for some reason, this is a huge, like, unbelievable feat. Did you know over 17 games to get 70 targets, it's only averaging about 4.1 targets per game? Like, 4.1 targets a game. Is that really too much to ask? I don't think so, especially if injuries come up. Telling you, Albert Wilson's going to have a season. And again, Albert Wilson is not a perform athlete. He does not work with Tua's trainer or all the trainers over there perform, but he has worked out with them due to being with Tua. And all the reports I'm hearing are Albert Wilson's been the quickest wide receiver to pick up the playbook. Albert Wilson and Tua have built chemistry, and Tua loves the guy. Confirming what I've been telling everyone, that Albert Wilson's arguably the best route runner on the team. So I'm just sitting here saying, I don't think it's far-fetched to believe that Albert Wilson's going to have a good season, man. I think he's going to have a career year. And here's the other thing people need to realize. Albert Wilson's in a career year. How does it always work out with us Dolphins? Every time a player is in their career year, they ball out. I'm sorry, in their final contract year, they ball out. And he's had a year and a half to get fully healthy. So I actually expect a big season from Albert Wilson, man. Every time guys are in their contract years, they ball out for us. And then we pay them. I'm not saying we're going to pay Albert Wilson, but I said even last year when he opted out, right? He fits the mold of the Alabama receiver Tua Tagovailoa likes to throw to. Reliable hands, good natural separator, good route runner. So I actually think Albert Wilson's going to have a season, man. I truly do. And King, truth, you're right. That yak, baby. People keep forgetting this guy is a yak monster. Tua going to throw him in open space and it's over. Jermaine, he had 63. Albert Wilson had 63 targets in only 13 games in 2019. So he was actually on pace for more than 70 targets. And do you remember how good he was when he came back? Just saying. And I expect a down year for DeVante Parker, Preston Williams, and Mike Gesicki. I've already said this. This offense is moving away from the 50-50 ISO guys. This is turning into a quick, rhythmic, reliant on separation offense. That's what this is turning into. That's your Waddle. That's your Fuller. That's your Albert Wilson. Robert Foster, if he makes the team. That's where this offense is going towards. See, I don't think he's going to be wide receiver 5. I don't. I don't think Preston's ahead of him. Because I think Preston's going to be hurt to start off this season. And here's the thing. Preston's behind the curve. All these guys have been not only learning the playbook, but actually putting it to work on the field. Preston's been watching from the sidelines. There's talk that Preston might not even be ready for training camp. If Preston ain't able to go week 1, he's going to be way behind the curve here. And again, King Truth is right. Preston is an X receiver. DVP, an X receiver. Wilson is a Z or a Y. And it's already come out. It's already been reported that Wilson's going to be playing both the slot and the boundary this year. So he's going to have opportunity. Shout out to Tony. When you talk about Waddle, what do you mean by stacking and stemming? Great question, bro. So stacking and stemming is a wide receiver, obviously term. So hold on a sec here. If the line holds up 15-2, 15-2, I gotta, Jesus Christ. Whoo. I don't know about 15 wins, bro. But anyways, back to Tony's question here because I got it up. So basically, stemming, that basically in your first 5 yards, that allows you to neutralize gain leverage on your receiver. When I talk about stacking, that's how usually stacking is only in the vertical game. That's how you fully gain the leverage. All right. So it's a big thing. You know, you're going to have inside or outside stems, right? So it's basically, you know, it's the stem is the direction of a wide receiver's release off the line of scrimmage, right? So a stem can look different basically depending on the defender's leverage. Stacking them is how you gain the leverage after you've stemmed, right? So yeah, exactly. There you go. Stack is on top, then seals go. King Truth knows what he's talking about. So yeah, it's really not, it's not that it's not that complicated when you actually look at it. It's just basically, it all basically comes down to your release and your leverage. That's all it basically comes down to. So an inside stem is, you know, more commonly used by X and Z receivers or the most outside receiver. But because now in a spread offense, all receivers will use a type of stem. So yeah, it's all about leverage. That's what the release and leverage. That's what it comes down to. So, and yeah, pretty basic stuff. It's not really overly complicated. You can find videos. You can hit Google. You can use Google and I'm sure you can find videos that'll actually physically show you examples of guys stemming and stacking. It's really not that hard. Yeah. So Tony asked who else is good at that. Well, Will Fuller is very good at it. Very good at it. When you're speedy, it helps. Clearly, right? So, yeah. I'm just reading some of your guys' comments here. Reason who's going to be our ex if Preston doesn't make it. Your ex receiver is going to be DeVante Parker. There you go. Yeah, you're talking about the yeah, you're talking about what game was that? Was that the Chiefs game? Which game was that? Was that the Chiefs game? King Truth? That was the Chiefs game, right? He's talking about the throw that to that what Grant dropped. He's talking about the throw that Grant dropped. Tucalosa Sosa, do you think Gesicki can replace DVP? Yeah. Oh, it's the Bengals game. My bad. It was the Bengals game, right? Do you think Gesicki can replace if they get hurt? Yeah, it was the Bengals game. Yeah. My bad. I always get those two games confused for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, Grant does it. It's just he doesn't finish at the playoff. That's the problem with him. So, but yeah. And just so you know, back to you, Tony, stemming and stacking are like technically techniques. So I'm sure you can Google it, and I'm sure there's got to be videos on it. There has to be videos on it. So yeah, exactly down the middle. Yeah, that's so yeah. King Truth knows what's up. So yeah, you know, guys that are also good at it. Larry Fitzgerald was fantastic at it. Julio was great at it. Calvin Johnson was really good at it. Because they were technicians. Everyone just thought because they're so big, that's how they win, but they're very crafty route runners. So yeah, you guys gotta stemming, just neutralize the leverage, keep that defender's hip square to you, and then it's over, man. And because you can get to the top speed of your route, and if you keep that hip square, he's gonna be guessing where he's going to you, right? So, and then stacking, you just gain your vertical leverage, and in the end you make the throw easier for the quarterback because you basically beaten your defender. So and inside is like, if you got the defender here and you're going inside, you basically go in on them, and then you come around, and then you just beat them, and you go in a straight line behind them. Same thing with outside, and then you just make the throw easier for them, if you understand what I'm saying. Yeah, Justin Moss, AB was really good at stacking and stemming as well, 110%. So, was I going too high? I think I was going too high. I think because now that I'm like, yeah. So, if this is the receiver and this is your defender, if I'm going inside, just going in and around, and I've stacked you, Even if you're running with me, I've stacked you, right? So, it's not really complicated stuff. D-Hop. Yeah, D-Hop does it well too. D-Hop also can just dominate on 50-50 balls because of his body size, right? I always forget that I have this thing on, that I have the the board around me. So then I'm always like going all the way up and looking like a retard. Exactly, ball game. The goal of the wide receiver is to get to the top of the DB as quickly as possible. So you dictate the leverage and keep them guessing. If you got their hips square to you, they're guessing. They're still guessing which way you're going to go. You got them beat. So it's really not overly complicated stuff. I'm sure I can almost guarantee there's videos on it. What up, Way01? How you doing, bro? I think Jordan Scarlett makes the team, buddy. I think special teams. 110%. I think it's special teams. King Truth, I wonder how the routes will change with new coaches. They had a lot of flexibility in routes. Bro, I think it's going to be a lot more quick hitting routes. I don't think we're going to be sitting around waiting on developing routes. I really don't believe that. Exactly, Tony, but Gesicki doesn't do it very well. But I think it's going to be a lot more quick hitting routes. That's where I think it's going to go, man. So, yeah. All right. Let's hop into things. We got some things we're going to talk about, then I'll open it up to you guys. We will we're going to talk about the Sun Sentinel. The New York Times put out quarterback rankings in the AFC East, so we'll talk about that. We'll talk about who the most overpaid player is for the Miami Dolphins, who the biggest sleeper is. ESPN came out with an article, executives ranking all the top 10 corners in the league. A announcement for you guys that I'm not overly familiar with, and that's basically the Dolphins hiring. We'll get into that first. So, the Miami Dolphins have a new preseason television play-by-play announcer, and it's a Florida Panthers TV voice and popular longtime South Floridian broadcaster Steve Goldstein. Dolphins and CBS4 have chosen Goldstein to be the team's new preseason TV voice. So it'll be him and Jason Taylor, from what I understand. So there's going to be 2 locally produced preseason games on CBS4 this year. Goldstein will be calling them. I think Goldstein's been the voice of the Panthers since like 2007, right? So gonna be Steve Goldstein this year. So you guys might be more familiar than him. Well, I am. I don't really watch a ton of Florida Panthers games. Like I do, but I don't pay attention. To the announcers, at least. Even when I watch my Pittsburgh games, I don't overly pay, other than Bob Erie because he's a freaking idiot. I don't really pay attention to the Penguins, even announcers. I just kind of get locked in on the game. So I think Goldstein and Taylor. Let me look it up quickly. Yeah, so they're going to be Goldstein and Taylor are going to be calling the 1 p.m. game on Saturday, August 14th at Chicago, and the 7 p.m. August 21st game at home against Atlanta this season. So, because the third game, which is 4 p.m. on Sunday, August 29th against Cincinnati, is going to be nationally televised. So apparently CBS hasn't made an announcement as to who is going to be calling that game. So that's still up in the air. But yeah, there you go. Goldstein, I don't really listen to the guy, so I don't know if he's he's Cap says he's the best. I used to listen to him with Joe Rose. Yeah, there you go. Goldie is a pro. Jacob says he loves Goldie. Yeah, I saw Travis's next gen stat tweet, bro. Big John. What up, Chad? Innes, Drew Boo, True Seeker, Chris. I don't think the schedule is easy, bro. I was talking about this with someone on Twitter in the DMs. I don't think it's easy. I think people are really underrating the schedule, man. I don't know, man. The expectations is 12 wins, obviously, because you got to grow on what you did last year, and they did it to themselves. I don't know if they're going to do it. This is the first time I'll say it. I got a bad feeling about this season. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. Don't like the schedule. Offensive line worries me. The X thing isn't settled yet. I don't know, man. I don't know. I got a weird feeling about this year. I would not be surprised if we only win like 9 games. I expect 12. Let me put it that way, though. I expect 12. But goddamn, I don't know. I don't really know, man. Like, those first 2 games are real tough. Real tough. If we can't stop the run, that first game is going to be a long day in Foxborough. Irving says, reason that was funny when you dragged that cover one fool on Twitter. Bills fans are the worst. Dude, they're ridiculous. These guys are like, I don't know what glue they sniff, but they got to stop. It's getting to their brain. In my honest opinion, you have a bad feeling because you have been let down with typical. I got a bad feeling because of the O-line. Because Fuller, I'm not going to put Waddle in here because he only ever had 1 injury and was on a kick return. Fuller, Preston, DVP, and my boy Albert Wilson, 4, I think our top 5 guys all have a history of getting hurt. Gaskin hasn't been able to stay healthy because of his body size. The X thing hasn't worked out. And just from what I've heard behind the scenes about Flores with this Tua stuff, and like, I don't think they're on the same page as many people make them out to believe. And then when I hear the playbook is complicated and confusing from guys who are working out with our receivers, we all know how that offense looked with Chad O'Shea in the complicated. Snap out of it, man. Do I need to quote a movie, Animal House? It's not over. Oh, it's not over. I expect 12 wins. I just don't know if I'm putting too big of an expectation out there for them. Because if that O-line struggles, boys and girls, we are up that creek with no paddle. Like, I don't think people realize how much it hinders on this offensive line. Let me put it this way. I don't think our defense is going to be able to carry us like that 2 seasons in a row. That's asking a lot. Statistically, I love some Pineapple Fanta cap. It's my favorite. Historically, top 5 defenses regress the next year. Now, I'm not saying they're going to become top 15. They could still be top 10, but just historically. Like, can we continue to depend on a 23 consecutive game turnover streak? That's asking a lot. And we saw by the Bills game, the 16th game of the season, that defense looked worn out. I mean, Matt Barkley came out there and had an MVP type of performance, bro. Offense is going to have to pull its weight. And the only way the offense pulls its weight is if Matt Skura finds his 2018 form. 3 of our offensive linemen take a significant keyword equal jump, and our rookie right tackle, Liam Eichenberg, limits the mistakes. That's a lot to ask for. Just on the offensive line, that's a lot to ask for. So, God damn, I hope they live up to my expectations because we deserve the playoffs as fans. We've earned the playoffs as fans. We've been through enough. And I'm going to be one pissed off camper if our O-line holds back Tua and this receiving core because they can't get their shit together. I'm going to be livid. So we'll see how it goes. I still expect 12 wins. Whether I got a bad feeling or not, that's my expectation. So we'll see how it rolls, man. All right, let's get into everything though. And I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. I'm trying to be a realist. I'm not going to tell everyone it's sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows when it's not. Donald Young says, "What's up, Reason? It's in my opinion, this is why I believe it's crucial for the O-line to establish the running game early in the season." Agreed. This running game and to his development literally only go as far as this offensive line takes them. So they better get this shit together, and they better get it together real quick. No time. And I don't like hearing that Solomon Kinley is right now. Jesse Davis is ahead on the depth chart at left guard because we all saw how insignificant Jesse Davis was at guard. I'd rather Jermaine Eluemunor starting at guard or Fluker starting at guard than Jesse Davis. Lord, please help me if that's the situation. And there are still plenty of warning signs from last year. Have we addressed them enough? Here's the key thing, too. See, Donald's onto something there. It's about establishing the run on offense. But like me and Ballgame have talked numerous times, like me and EM have talked numerous times. It's about if you can establish the run on offense and stop the run on defense, we'll win 12 games. We might even win 13. I would not be surprised. But establishing the run in the offense takes the offensive line taking that leap forward that I talked about. Skura has to find 2018 form. 3 second-year players have to take equal significant leaps. Liam Eichenberg needs to limit rookie mistakes and the rookie learning curve. On the opposite side, stopping the run. This defense needs to show something they haven't shown the last couple of years. Now, I think we've added the pieces that when I look on paper, I say, okay, we might be able to stop the run a lot better than we did last year. It's one thing to look on a piece of paper. It's another thing to see them actually go out there and perform. That's the thing. See, like, it's too much hypothetical, right? I need to see it. Seeing is believing, right? So the run defense is going to be huge. Chaos, do you see trading Parker before the trade deadline? I got a bad feeling about Parker, brother. I think Parker's either going to get hurt or he's going to get traded. I'm telling you, I predict down years for Preston Parker, and Gesicki. I think people are very much overvaluing and overhyping Gesicki. The guy had 85 targets last year. Why? Look at who the hell else was on the team and healthy. Of course he's going to get 85 targets. No one else to throw the goddamn ball to. Of course he's going to get 85. With this loading receiving room, you ain't getting 85, I'll tell you that much. And the thing is, he's not a good separator. He's not a good route runner. A lot more opportunities, I think, are going to have to come from in line to hit that 85 target this year. And he's not a good enough blocker and consistent enough blocker to trust in line all the time. I'm telling you, I think the Hunter Long draft pick was writing was put on the wall, man. Jeremiah, you need to go get this article, put it in the chat so I can rip it apart. DVP, I have a feeling he's going to get hurt. Preston, you're going to get hurt or traded. Preston, he's still hurt. There's rumor might not even be ready for training camp. And he's been studying the playbook, sure, but he hasn't applied it yet. Marcos, this is a good question. Do you think the wild card standings will be packed like last season? Yes, and this is why. All right. If you go back to TD Finn's talk, all right, when I was on TD Finn's talk before I started this channel, TD would always talk about how, quarterbacks don't perform on their second contract, and he would always go on about how, you can't give them 20%, 25% of the cap, which I actually agree with that. You can't give them 20, 25% of the cap. That's freaking ridiculous. But here we are, the new NFL, right? But I told him in rebuttal to the second year contract, all the guys he would bring up, the problem was there was no parity in the AFC. Everyone had to deal with 14 to sometimes 16 wins coming from the New England Patriots. It was throwing everything off tilt. A almost 20-year dynasty, which is unheard of, especially in football with a salary cap, threw everything out of parity. I said to TD, and the receipts are out there, when Brady retires or Brady leaves, watch the AFC. It's going to become a lot more competitive and more teams are going to make the playoffs, et cetera, et cetera. What happens? The first year Tom Brady leaves, 10-6 don't get you in the playoffs. As much as Dolphin fans don't want to hear it, because we all hate the New England Patriots, including myself, they were throwing the balance off. It's like, Star Wars fans, you got to bring balance to the Force. They were throwing the balance off of the Force off. That's what was happening. And now it's no longer 10-6. Now that would be 10-7. So that might even make that extra game might make 11 wins the necessity to get in. Robert, they will pass and set up the run. No, opposite, Robert. The pass will be predicated off the run. Especially if you're going to be running RPO. What's the first letter in that? Run, right? So that's what I think the run is going to be a necessity to set up the pass this year. No, Marco, I think 11 can get you in depending on who you are. Jeff Fremont, who can be the Jarvis Landry? Waddle? I think Waddle is better than Jarvis Landry. I love Jarvis Landry. I got my Color Rush all orange Jarvis Landry jersey upstairs. Problem with Jarvis was he didn't get in the end zone enough. So, Justin, The Titans added Julio. They ain't regressing. The Colts got better. They ain't regressing. I do agree with you. The Steelers might regress. Problem is, where you at, Pyro? You know what the problem is going to be with that? They might get into the playoffs off the back of Najee Harris. But I do think Cleveland's a better team this year than the Steelers are. So I could see Baltimore and Cleveland being the top in that division for sure. I think 11 will get you in. 11 is the bare minimum, I think. You have to get to 11. All right, let's get into this, guys. I just rambled for 42 minutes. All right. So, the Sun Sentinel, they ranked I believe it was a guy from the New York Times who wrote this article for the Sun Sentinel. Let me just roll up to the top here. Yeah, New York Daily News. My bad, not New York Times. So they went ahead and ranked the quarterbacks. Obviously, built Josh Allen, number one. Says, who could have seen 2 years ago that Allen would be the best quarterback in the division going into 2021? Well, I told y'all last offseason, I had people in my comments saying I needed to get a Bills jersey. And that I was a closet Bills fan when I said when they added Stephon Diggs that it was going to help Josh Allen really take a step forward. And here we are. So that's no surprise. What I don't like here is 2A, and they put Cam Newton. And they said Newton is the incumbent starter for the Patriots with the most experience of the division's QBs. Going into his second season in New England, however, he has just a slight edge on Tua as the second best quarterback in the AFC East. Last season, Newton had some of the worst weapons in the NFL. It's hard for a quarterback to perform at a high level when the weapons are Jacoby Myers, Demary Bird, Keneal Harry, Ryan Izzo, and a washed-up Julian Edelman. Did you see what Tua was working with? It's impossible for a quarterback to succeed under those circumstances. Come on, bro. The guy's been in the league and been to a Super Bowl, okay? Brady, yes, Brady at least made it into the first round of the playoffs with a bunch of jabronis. Don't give me this bull crap. Now we're making excuses for this guy. Give me a break. It says as a result, his passing numbers suffered. He hasn't been a good passer. I said this going into last season. If you go and look at his last best statistical year in Carolina, which I believe was 2018, Christian McCaffrey had like 30% of his passing yards. He had 25% of his touchdowns. He had like 25% of his targets. And I was asking, who's going to be the Christian McCaffrey? People were trying to tell me, oh, Danny Woodhead. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Like, get out of here. Cam Newton's not a good passer. Plain and simple. He completed 65.8% of his throws for 2,657 yards, 8 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 7-8. He started 15 games, had a losing record, put up worse statistics by far than Tua Tagovailoa, and you're actually putting him above Tua Tagovailoa? Like, let's get over this. Give me a break. It's disgusting. 2B, Tua Tagovailoa. Tagovailoa had an average rookie season with good performance against the Cardinals, Bengals, and Chiefs, but his 9 starts included some terrible performance, which got him benched against the Raiders and Broncos. Well, in all fairness, the Broncos game, the offensive line couldn't stop a beach ball. So was it really on Tua? Also, our defense couldn't stop the run. He also threw 3 interceptions against the Bills with the playoffs on the line. Context. He threw 3 interceptions when the Bills were crushing our defense, and we had no choice but to just throw a bunch. He also had 11 drops. I don't see you mentioning that in this. He would have had over 550 yards that game. Tagovailoa finished the season with 1,814 yards. 64 of his passes were completed. 14 total touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Quarterback rating was 87.1. His QBR was 52.5. His record was 6.3. Really should have been 5-4. So you want to add context there, but nowhere else. Okay. The offseason was rumored to be in trade talks when the Dolphins were reported to be interested in Deshaun Watson, but once Watson's sexual allegations arose, those rumors faded. Quarterback success is tied to his weapons, and last season, the Dolphins' receiving threats were below average in DeVante Parker, Preston Williams, Mike Gesicki, Jakeem Grant, Lynn, Bowden, and Matt Collins. The Dolphins have gone all in on building around their second-year quarterback. They drafted his former Alabama teammate Jalen Waddle and signed Will Fuller to add an explosive element to the passing game that was sorely missed last season. A receiving corps of Water, Fuller, Parker, Gesicki will improve the Dolphins and give them better evaluation of what Tagovailoa can do in year 2. No one can definitely say what the former number 5 overall pick will become, but that's the best part of sports. And then number 4, rightfully so, they have Zach Wilson, who hasn't played a snap in the NFL. But, I mean, I don't get some of these writers. I really don't. Like, I don't. These guys, good God. Reason question for you: do you believe a surprise cut for the Dolphins could be Jacoby Brissett, $5.5 million? Wouldn't mind it. Let's see what Reed Simmons got as a backup. The problem with that, though, Donald, is I think. Okay. So, like I've gone over with everyone, from everything I've been told, Flores hates that Tua's been shoved down his throat. He's still monitoring the Watson situation, even though Ross has told him and Greer, yeah, I signed off on it before the allegations, but I'm not signing off on it now since the allegations hit. Flores is pro Herbert and can't really let it go right now. I think Jacoby's his guy. That's what the problem is. That's why I don't think Jacoby gets cut. I think it's his guy for sure. And that's why I think it's his insurance policy to look in if Tua struggles so he can turn and he can say, oh, look, see, I told you he struggled, and then he can go to his guy. Just that's the sense I'm getting from people I talk to. All right. So, the NFL, every Bleacher Report dropped an article about every NFL team's biggest sleeper heading into training camp. And this is who they put for the Miami Dolphins. Let me bring it up for you guys here. So, where you at, Clump? They put Lynn Bowden Jr. And it says Lynn Bowden Jr. won't be the number 1 wide receiver for the Dolphins, or number 2 or number 3. Those roles belong to Will Fuller, DeVante Parker, and rookie Jalen Waddle. But the passing game still has room for Bowden to do damage in 2021. Not with Albert Wilson, baby. A 3rd-round pick of the Las Vegas Raiders in 2020. Bowden was drafted as a running back after playing option quarterback at the University of Kentucky, but things didn't work out for Bowden in Las Vegas. And he was shipped before the season to the Dolphins, who flipped the 5'11", 204-pounder to wide receiver. Y'all want a good tidbit? Y'all want a Brian Flores tidbit? I'll give you a Brian Flores tidbit right now. From what I was told, you guys remember that article about a month ago that Tyler Dunn wrote about Lynn Bowden? Talked about his time in Las Vegas, how he's on the phone when he heard all the coordinators talking and stuff like that. Do you guys remember that? Let me know if you remember that article that I'm talking about. It was like from 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, I think. Tyler Dunn wrote that article. Let me know in the comments if you guys remember that. Okay. So the couple oh yeahs, yep. What I was told was Lynn Bowden Jr. got reamed out for that article by Brian Flores. He opened up way too much. That's what I was told. Exact quote. Brian Flores reamed Lynn Bowden Jr. out for that article. It's the exact quote I was told. So that's the type of controlling. I told you guys, I was told by people close to Tua that he's insanely controlling. I told you guys that. And then I was told this Bowden thing about like a week and a half ago. I was talking to someone who is connected to someone close to the team, and this is what he was told. So that's basically, opening up, not a good thing. Brian Flores likes a tight lid on everything. Anyways, Bowden made 3 starts for Miami at the tail end of the 2020 season. While his numbers weren't great, he did post an impressive catch rate of 75.7%. I also believe Lynn Bowden didn't have one single drop, if I remember correctly. With a full offseason and continuous conversion to wideout, Bowden could be set for a much bigger second season. His ability in the open field and experience in the running game give him a skill set unique among Miami's pass catchers. So, yeah. So I think I think he's gonna he's gonna produce this year. I don't think he's gonna produce as much as Albert Wilson, where you at, Clump, but I do think Lynn Bowden Jr. is definitely gonna take a step forward this year. For sure. For sure. Okay. So let's get into the next subject. I got 2 more things we'll go over, and then I'll open it up till about 9:30ish because I gotta go with the wife. We're gonna go watch Black Widow. Need to get me my 2 hours of Scarlett Johansson in. All right. Anytime the wife is willing to watch a Scarlett Johansson movie, you know your boy's down for that, baby. All right. So ESPN took a poll. They talked to NFL executives, coaches, and players to make their picks, and they ranked the top 10 corners in the NFL right now. And here's how the process worked. Voters gave us their best top 10 to 15 players at the position. We compiled the results and ranked candidates based on the number of top 10 votes. Composite average interviews, research, and film study help from ESPN analyst Matt Bowen. We had several ties, so we broke them by isolating a 2-man matchup with additional voting and follow-up calls. Each section is packed with quotes and nuggets from voters on every guy, even the honorable mentions. The object is to identify the best players right now for 2021. This is not a 5-year projection or an achievement award. Who's the best today? Pretty simple. So here we go. And then it says the NFL is stacked with very good cornerbacks, but not enough truly great ones. So evaluators in the league lamented the scarcity of game-changing corners, which is a problem in an increasingly pass-first league. Execs and coaches want corners who can cover the number 1 receiver in man and with minimal help and switch to zone with ease, who can tackle in space and win with instincts and footwork. That's a big ask, but it's also why elite corners get paid. They are rare. This year's top 10 quarterback list features its share of greatness, though it includes a clear-cut number 1, ascending young stars, aging but still proficient corners, and a mean tiebreaker from Baltimore to New England. So number 1, obviously, Jalen Ramsey. The guy travels. X used to do it a little bit more. He used to play a little bit both sides more than he did last year when we got Byron Jones. He did play both sides a little bit, but not nearly as much as he in years past. So Philip LeDuc, he donates $5. He said, if Tua had a subpar season, gets hurt again, do you trade our first round pick next year unless San Francisco does suck to have ammunition for the 2023 draft QB? If they're gonna move off Tua, I want my boy Sam Howell. There's some quarterbacks in this draft that I like. So Spencer Rattler, Sam Howell. There's some good guys out there. Carson Strong. There's some decent guys out there that aren't getting enough love right now. I don't think. There's also what's his face? What the hell's his name? What the hell is his name? Um, Man, what the hell is his name? Matt Corral from Ole Miss. I like Matt Corral from Ole Miss. I've been watching a little bit of him lately. That's who I was trying to think of. Matt Corral's decent too. So there's some good guys coming out this year. Desmond Ritter, he's okay. I got some issues with him in his accuracy at times though. So but yeah, so number one, they have obviously Jalen Ramsey. It says there's one NFL coach said there's Jalen Ramsey and then there's a line. So great corner. Number two, they have Marlon Humphrey. And Humphrey's a beast. You know, an AFC coordinator said he's the one guy, if you think back to Peanut Tillman, he's asserting himself like that. Maybe not a twitchy guy, but man, coverage skills, toughness, knack to get into the ball, adequate speed, and good size. Marlon's a beast. And a few voters said, this is actually what me and Em talked about. A few voters said his man's coverage skills might not be elite, but he is very good in zone. But several trusted defensive coaches say he has improved in that area in a big way. His physicality almost always wins out. So it says he ranked 4th in the NFL with 6.4 yards allowed per target as the nearest defender. He's just tough ball hawk, long range. He plays different now than in college, an NFC coach said. Before you play him, you're showing his turnover real to your team. Let's not tempt him. Number 3, Xavien Howard. Last year, he was ranked number 10 by ESPN. This year, he's number 3. The highest ranking he got in terms of voting was 1. The lowest he got was 7. It says, no wonder Howard wants a new contract. Snagging 10 picks in one season elevates you from 10th on last year's list to top 3. He likes to put his hands on people, my kind of corner, and an AFC coordinator said. Howard has the press man ability and ball production that every team covets. The All-Pro produced a league-high 20 pass deflections using his size to fluster top receivers. He is versatile enough to jam a wideout or play cover 2 when the defense switches things up. Instincts. Plays a lot closer on you than most. And if people test him and force him, he knows how to get his head around and finish the catch, an NFC personnel evaluator said. He also breaks so well that he cuts the route. You know, and basically what they're telling you there, right? He basically cuts off the route and gets underneath it to make the play, which I think it comes down to more breaks, more baiting than it does breaks. He's just a smart, high aptitude guy that he draws the quarterback's eyes into the target, and then once the throw's there, he breaks on the ball. So, yeah. All right, next final article. Let's get it before I open it up for about a half hour to you guys. Every NFL team's most overpaid player entering the 2021 season. And for the Miami Dolphins, they chose DeVante Parker. It's right there. And they go on to say here the 4-year, $30.5 million contract with $21.8 million guaranteed. Miami Dolphins wideout DeVante Parker isn't overpaid because of his annual salary, but $21.8 million was too much guaranteed money to give a player with only one strong season on his resume. Parker racked up 1,202 receiving yards and 9 touchdowns in 2019, and he signed his 4-year extension that December. However, he averaged only 554 yards and 2 touchdowns in 4 previous campaigns. Parker fell back to earth last season, amassing 793 yards and 4 scores. Well, he was hurt, and he's unlikely to regain his number 1 target role in 2021. Miami selected Jalen Waddle with a 6th overall pick in the 2021 NFL draft and added Will Fuller in free agency. Parker will likely be a compensatory piece at best in 2021 and is set to carry a cap hit of $12.1 million. Parting with him won't be a realistic option until next offseason, as he still has $15.9 million in dead money on his deal. If the Dolphins do decide to move on in 2022, they'll face a 5.4 dead money cap charge. So I got to ask the comment section right now. Do you guys agree with this? do you think right now, as it stands, DeVante Parker is the most overpaid Miami Dolphin? Because, man, and I get what they're saying. It's more the guaranteed money based on production. But, I mean, Clayton Fledglin's overpaid. Jakeem Grant's overpaid. You know what I mean? Like, but DeVante Parker, I think he has the second biggest cap hit on the team right now, right? Second or third most. Hearns is absolutely robbing us out without a gun and a mask right now. There's a lot of guys, but DeVante Parker, I mean, former first-round pick, has never produced up to that standard other than one. Drip Entertainment says Baker's overpriced. I mean, I agree with that. He's overpaid. I dropped the link for you guys right there. I'm going to give you guys about a half hour, and then I'm going to get out of here if you guys want to come up. But this is an interesting discussion. Is DeVante Parker the most overpaid Miami Dolphin right now? That's a interesting one, you know. I mean, the cap hit this year is a little over $12 million, I believe. So yeah, his cap hit is what, just under 12.1 million. X's cap hit is 13.5 million. Byron Jones is 16.1 million. Will Fuller is 10.5. Emmanuel Ogba 7.5. McKinney 7.17. Tua actually has the sixth highest cap hit. Eric Rowe has the seventh highest cap hit. And then you got Albert Wilson after him. So who would you guys say is he overpaid in your opinion? What's going on, guys? Is DeVante Parker the most overpaid Miami Dolphin?
Yes.
Pyro?
You know what?
Here he comes to the defense. Dame, where you at? You got to come up here and get this guy.
No, don't you know? You don't have to come in, Dame. Man, I don't know, because he comes in good sometimes. But, you know, the injury bug is a thing. I don't know, man. It's hard for me to say because he played through that injury last year, so it's hard for me to really like come to a quick decision right now.
Well, he's the good news is he's not getting paid like a Damakan Sue, so that's always good.
Wait, how much did we pay Sue?
More than he was worth.
Because he was biting the ass as soon as we got rid of him. He was still biting us in the ass.
Yeah, we took on a lot of dead money to get rid of him, didn't we? Because he signed a 6-year, $114.4 million contract.
Bro. It was ridiculous. I remember it was ridiculous.
And $60 million of it was guaranteed.
Yeah, something like that. It's hard. I can't really remember the details of it. I wanted to forget it.
If our math adds up, 6 years in 2018, he should have been here until 2024.
Yeah, because it was still. Cause I remember we were still taking cap. Like when you said dead money, we were still taking dead money after he was. When he was still playing with the Rams, when he was playing with the Rams in Super Bowl, we was still taking some hits.
Guys, who was the coach when we brought Sue in? Was it Joe Philbin or was it?
It was the GM. Who was the GM? I think it was. No, it wasn't Ireland. Who was it?
Was it Tannenbaum?
Tannenbaum, yeah, Tannenbaum.
Right.
You guys hear about Chase?
Yeah, I don't really care about that, bro.
I put the reason though he knows.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really care about drama with his baby mama.
All I'm saying, all I gotta say about it is Waddle would never. That's all I gotta say about it.
Well, Waddle wraps it up and knows how to wipe his ass, bro.
no, it's clean. It's clean. The dude never. Every time he bathed, he never did anything. It's like, bro, come on, man.
I'll say reason, and you've said it before yourself, and I will say it right here, right now, that I believe that, and you guys can agree or disagree, but I believe that Tua is the most scrutinized quarterback in the NFL right now. Certainly rookie quarterback right now.
Shit.
Because I mean, you look at Burrow, and you've mentioned this before.
Give me one
reason. Joe Burrow.
Now keep talking.
Similar numbers. Similar numbers to Tua.
Yeah.
And he gets a free pass because he blows his knee out. He gets a free pass.
But what's crazy is how many more attempts did he have to get those numbers?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he was throwing a lot more than Tua was,
and he had better weapons. He had a better weapons,
way more better weapons. Yeah,
and also a more stable offensive line. Remember that
he threw the ball 114 more times than Tua.
And Herbert came into a better situation than Tua as well. He got Austin Eckler. He got the wide receivers there. Way better situation than Tua. But everyone wants to bash Tua and say Tua's not living up to expectations. Tua's, not this, he's not that. But
but
Tua
what were people's expectations in 9 games? 14 total touchdowns, 5 interceptions. What were people's expectations? Like, if you go back to my preseason video, I told all of y'all, passing, I said he would throw for 22 to 24 I think I said 22 or 20 to 24 touchdowns. I predicted about 28 to 3,200 yards, and I predicted like 8 to 12 turnovers. And if you actually project his 9-game numbers over a 16-game span, I was spot on.
But I just think people were looking at how he performed in Alabama, and they thought, well, he should be able to put up those similar type of numbers in the NFL. And I agree. I mean, it should be common sense that coming into the NFL, that's a huge learning curve, and that's a huge leap, man. And people got to realize this guy. The first game, first of all, he was recovering off of a hip injury. That's one thing. And your first game is against the Rams, which was what? At the time, it was a top 5 defense at the time.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, what the hell do you
against
expect?
That offensive line that the offensive line that got ate up by Brockers and Donald on the very first snap.
Yeah,
man. Very first snap got blown up and fumbled it. He fumbled it too, but
Pyro can hear you. Yes, Damien.
Okay, because I'm having
he got to finish. The guy got to finish his sentence. What he got to say? What you trying to? What you finish? You was talking. Sorry to interrupt you, my friend, but you was finishing up. No, Damien, let him finish his. Damien, let him finish. So go ahead, my British friend.
Yeah, no, I just think, and Reasons mentioned it before, and I think there is a lot of bias and a lot of scrutiny against Tua that you don't get with other quarterbacks right now, like Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert. Obviously, Justin Herbert was Rookie of the Year, so you've got to, you have to realize that, Justin Herbert played really well, and that makes the situation with Tua, to some fans, look a little worse. But that I do believe that Tua has all the skills to succeed, but he just needs more time and he needs more weapons around him. And obviously we've tried to strengthen the side through the draft, and we've brought in some more help on the offensive line. Running back wise, we look right now like we're going to stick with Gaskins and Malcolm Brown. Maybe as the season goes on, we may look to see if there's any bigger running backs that get cut. So I just think sometimes Tua gets some unfair criticism and some unwanted attention at times, and I think, I don't know if that's because he's number 5. But what was Tannehill when we picked Tannehill? He was first round. He was top. What was he? Top 10?
Top 10 pick.
Yeah, top 10.
Yeah.
Did we take like 8th or something like that?
Yes, it was 8.
I think it was 8. Yeah, 8.
And I think Tua coming out of college is showed, obviously way more than Tannehill, wasn't it? Way higher rated than Tannehill.
And here's the thing, like Herbert also threw the ball over 590 times. And I saw it was either ESPN or NFL.com. I think it was ESPN put out 12 most realistic teams to make the Super Bowl this year. They actually had the Chargers on the list.
What?
Yeah, it's called the 12. Just type in your Google search bar 12 most realistic teams to make the Super Bowl. I think it's ESPN. And I was like, okay, this is getting crazy right here because they got a whole new coaching staff right now. Like, there's no continuity. I mean, we don't know how it's going to go. And my question to you, British Finn, before I give Dame the floor, because I want to hear that. Sorry, Pyro. Are you going to the London game?
I'm hoping to. Yeah, I believe the London game for the Miami Dolphins.
Is it in Wembley Stadium? Wembley?
No, it's going to be at the Tottenham Stadium. Yeah. So it's going to be the it's still going to be London, but it's going to be where the soccer team play. Yeah, it's going to be where Tottenham play. So it's a brand new stadium. It's only 2 years old. It's a really, really cool stadium. If you see it on TV, you will really be impressed. It's NFL ready. They built the stadium with NFL in mind. So it's going to be a really good stadium to play the game. And so I'm hoping to be there. I went to London, Wembley, when we played the Jets, when we had Joe Philbin as head coach, and we lost that game. I think Fitzpatrick was playing for the Jets, if I remember right. And we lost that game, but it was a really bad, it was a really poor time to be a Miami fan. We weren't doing much, and we subsequently got rid of Philbin, and then Gase came in, and he was supposed to be the quarterback whisperer, but he wasn't much of a whisperer to anybody, really, was he? So
I got a quick question.
No.
Just a quick question. It's a legit question. It's a legit question. Wait, it's a legit question.
Damien, is DeVante Parker overpaid? And why is Pyro out of his mind?
I don't know. This subject is very near and dear to me.
Oh my God. Here we go.
Now, I understand that people are talking about Tua getting criticism, but this player right here hasn't got enough criticism. That's DeVante Parker.
How? What the freak? You criticize him every goddamn day.
Be fair. Let's be fair. Overpaid.
Oh my God.
That's what we're talking about. Overpaid. Overpaid. Thank you. Took him 14th overall. Now, people want to get the comparisons with Ndamukong Suh. That's fine. But when we did overpay for Ndamukong Suh, he was number one player at that position. He was also, at that time, dominating game. Ndamukong Suh was. Now, DeVante Parker, he's had one standout year. And that one standout year was when we had nothing around us and no expectations. DeVante Parker, has he consistently given us 16 games of dominant play? Not even in a year. No. DeVante Parker, 14th overall pick. How many Pro Bowls has DeVante Parker made? One. And I think he was an alternate with that because somebody had to back out.
You know how they treat these Dolphins players, bro. Don't go there. You know they always overlook these Dolphins players. They always do that.
No, man. No.
Yes.
I think DeVante Parker has stole money over his career.
He was a Pro Bowl six. If you're that player, you're that player, man. Come on, man. Let's.
No. They always overlook these Dolphins.
He's right about Rashad.
No,
man. Come on, man. I've been a Dolphin fan since 1991 when I was 8 years old, man. Come on, let's go ahead with that. Now,
all right, youngster, listen up.
Hold on. Let Damien.
Hold up, Todd, too.
Shut up, Pyro. Let Damien keep going.
DeVante Parker has done nothing to warrant getting paid top 10 receiver money in the NFL. Nothing.
I agree.
He's done nothing to warrant it. He hasn't made multiple Pro Bowls. He hasn't in a season been a key factor of dominating games on a consistent basis? He hasn't done that. He hasn't warranted none of those things. Plus, he can't consistently stay on the field. At least with Will Fuller, even though he can't consistently stay on the field.
Okay,
I can argue in the 10-game sample size, he was on pace to outdo anything DeVante Parker even did, and DeVante Parker won dominant season in 2019. DeVante Parker. We took 14th overall. I ask you, does the production that we've seen with DeVante Parker as a Miami Dolphin warrant him getting paid the money? Now, before we drafted Jalen Waddle and before we signed Will Fuller, I could easily say, you know what, we got to keep DeVante. He's the best player on the best wide receiver skill position we have. But when we have Jalen Waddle, who has the potential to be a number one, when we have Will Fuller, even though they both have the injury bug, I'm going to go with the more explosive player, which is Will Fuller. And we have a weapon in Albert Wilson who's going to be playing for his career, and a cheaper version of DeVante Parker and Preston Williams. I would say we're overpaying for DeVante Parker.
Cheaper version all the way down to the injuries too.
Yeah.
If you can tell me, that's the paying of DeVante Parker all that damn money would be the equivalent of the 2002 Miami Dolphins giving a Rondé Gaston all that damn money because we didn't have.
Ooh, you pulled out the Rondé Gaston. Oh my!
Look at this guy. Let that hate come out. Let that hate come out.
Rondé was a difference maker.
He's not wrong though. He's not wrong though.
He listen, Damien. You made some good points. But
they were all good points.
All I'm saying is when he's healthy, and I told you, Damien, and you agree with me. I said he played through the injuries and he played for the team. What am I right?
But he hasn't consistently done it when it counts.
And I agree with you, Damien. But you have to look at this. He came. Oh my God! He came from Louisville. He came from Louisville. How you expect this man to overcome that shit? Is Kentucky here? You know you're gonna get pissed off.
It's been like 7 years. If you ain't gonna do it now, you ain't
right.
gonna do it.
The thing with
all I'm saying is they
was he the wide receiver version of Ryan Tannehill?
All I'm saying
I think DeVante has definitely stole money over his career, but as of right this minute,
I disagree.
I'm not mad about his contract. I'm not mad about what he's getting paid right now. What I don't like about DeVante Parker is even when he plays through injuries, he's not a player that plays well when he's injured. You know, he gives it his all, but he doesn't perform like he just can't perform when he's injured, and you get a shell of himself. So even though he has stolen money, I'm okay with what he makes now. And finally, now that we've completed a wide receiver room, I'm really anxious to see when he isn't our number one. When we can finally get some mismatches with him instead of him getting CB1 on him, you know, he might be able to perform better than he has. And I'm okay with what he's making right now. Over the course of his career, yes, he's been an overrated and overpaid player. But what we're paying him right now and where he is in that room, I'm okay with it.
Third highest cap
hit.
Okay,
third highest cap. Go ahead, King. He has the third highest cap hit on the team right now.
Sure. Here's the thing about DeVante Parker being overpaid is that, you know, every off season, I think all of us, you look at certain players and you're like, I don't want to lose that player. If DeVante Parker, I mean, God forbid, I'm not rooting an injury on him, but if he was to have a season-ending injury in training camp, I don't think any of us think the win total goes down.
Nope.
Like, so if your win total doesn't go down, then why are you? Then you're certainly overpaying a guy if he's making more than $10 million, and you don't even think he gives you a game.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, does anybody here think that changes anything?
No.
I agree with you so much.
To be honest with you, if you want my honest opinion, I'd rather see what Waddle, Wilson, and Fuller could do with those targets, if you want my honest opinion.
Another honest opinion is
the words out my mouth. Listen to this. I
agree with Charles. Parker kills Stephon Gilmore, but that's one player, one game.
Mhm.
2 games a season. Okay.
Yeah.
There's 17 games in the season now. Anyway, sorry, go Dame.
If we all expect Waddle to be the player that we expect him to be, and if we expect Will Fuller to continue on the trajectory he did in Houston, by week 12, we'll pretty much get a clear picture that DeVante Parker is no longer the number one receiver on this damn team.
100%.
And my question is, if you're the number one, we wouldn't be going in the draft taking a receiver 6 overall, or putting a number one receiver from another team on a prove it deal that's just more dynamic than you, and also even on trade value. DeVante Parker doesn't warrant what a number one receiver warrants as far as trade value. We won't even get a 3rd round pick for DeVante Parker.
Oh God!
Talent. We will not get a 3rd.
How you know that?
You tell
How
me
you know
Hold on, I
that?
think something else that's important to note along those same lines is that anyone that followed Tua in college knows they had multiple guys that were looked at as quote-unquote ones, but they rotated every year because they spread the ball around, which is what I think the Dolphins are going to do. Just like Reason said earlier, completely agree. Wilson, going to be huge. Waddle, going to be huge. I actually, I think, I can't remember his name right now. The guy we got for the 3rd round pick, the other guy out of the slot.
Lynn Bowden.
Thank you, Bowden. And those guys are going to eat, man. It is going to be a yak-type deal. We only need one Preston Williams or one DeVante Parker, and Preston Williams is way cheaper. So if we're going to have that guy, it's going to be that X, we might as well have him be way cheaper. And Preston Williams outperformed DVP when they were both healthy.
That's a really good point.
And shout out to Dolphin Don for becoming a YouTube member. Yeah, like this is where I'm going here. I think this is going to be a quick hitting, rhythmic, fast passing. It's going to be predicated on separation, short, quick breaking routes. And here's my thing. I keep going. Let's say I said this a ball game on the episode of the Finish Line that we recorded yesterday and should come out this weekend. Let's say I've got 4 reads, okay, on a play, all right? I'm in 10-man personnel, all right? And let's say the way the play is designed, my reads start from my right and I progress to my left. Let's say DVP is the first read, far right, all right? Then inside on the slot, I've got Waddle, then I've got Wilson, then I've got Fuller. I look at him. The only thing that he's going to show me is he's won his leverage battle. The next thing when I move to Waddle and then when I move to Wilson, they're going to show me separation. Am I going to even bother going back to that first read? And how much of the time when I just notice, okay, he's got leverage, but he doesn't have separation on the guy, am I going to move off that read to see if anyone else has separation? Like, that's the thing that's going to hinder his progress is other guys are going to be separating while he's a more of an ISO 50-50 guy. And it's just not, that's not to his style. That's not to his preference. He got 100 targets last year because just like Gesicki with 85, who the hell else was there?
Yeah. Well, like you say,
and actually, Reason, right along that same line, just so people understand, when you're running an RPO offense, a lot of times
slants,
outside receivers.
Stuff. Yeah, it's a dummy route.
Yeah, it's a West Coast.
But Parker is probably going to run a go or a post, and then you're going to have your slant guy running a quick pass where
because you want him to
reading
take the
outside linebacker is your read man, right? So the outside linebacker is either going to fade to where the drag is coming across for.
I think you cut out there. Truth.
Cut out.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. He was making some excellent points, man. And that's
absolutely.
Thing, man.
Yeah.
All I heard was slander. That was no points. What was that? There was no points.
Well, he's right. He's either going to take the coverage or he's going to run a dummy route. You're not going to be utilizing him in an RPO based offense.
Yeah,
I know, Reese. I agree.
Yeah. But I'm very, very new to college football, guys. But I can tell from the little bit of footage that I've watched, that when you look at what they say is for a lot of college quarterbacks is that they usually look for the first read, and if it's not there, they take off because that's the kind of college game. But obviously with Tua, he had so many weapons at Alabama, not only the great wide receivers that he had there, but a great offensive line as well, that he got a check down that he could do. He could throw a check down, it could turn into a touchdown because the receivers were so quick and so Waddle and Devonta Smith and so when you look at what we're trying to implement now, when you look at bringing Albert Wilson back from injury and taking Will Fuller in free agency. We're talking about DeVante Parker now, but you can see the coaching system is trying to implement the same strategy that he had in college to get the fast receivers and the quick passes and the underneath stuff and the rack and all that. So
Yeah, I gotta agree. I mean, this offense is it's based on a lot of West Coast concepts. It's the quick drop. You read the defense pre-snap, post-snap, and then you make that quick pass. And I think this type of offense, this RPO West Coast based offense, is gonna phase out receivers like Parker and Preston.
And Gesicki.
I mean, you already got right, and you got guys like Wilson, guys like Waddle, guys like Fuller. They're the ideal prototype receiver for this offense. So I don't know. Parker is gonna be phased out. He's gonna be obsolete.
Hey, can I just say one thing to piggyback on what you just said, brother? With the RPO West Coast offense, and to excel in that role as receiver, even with his size, you have to I mean, there's receivers out there with 50-50 ball receivers, but they run polished routes and create separation and running those polished routes.
I see what you're going. I see what
you're going. West Coast. Something like D-Hop does. Something like that. D-Hop can go up and beat a 50-50 ball receiver, but he also can run polished routes and create separation. Something that DVP, I mean, it is what it is. I mean,
he ain't no good second.
Huh?
He ain't no good second.
Yeah, but he's a wide receiver.
Yeah.
It's even more important.
But he's not a good second.
Yeah, but he's a good. The thing is, he's a good route runner, but he doesn't separate a lot with his routes. That's the problem.
Parker,
I agree. And you know what, Damien? I'm gonna give you some credit. You are speaking facts right now because that's a big issue, and I've seen it during the I think it was the Arizona game. He was not getting separation.
Why he was going? Preston was getting separation in that game.
Yeah, I agree with Preston, and listen, and I said that. I said Preston, is overall a better Parker, and I said that. But my biggest knock with Preston is that he gets consistently injured.
Yeah,
that's my biggest knock with him. He's cheaper. Yeah,
not necessarily. I don't think his health is a problem because if you look at his first injury, it was a punt return, right? And then the second injury, when he was trying to jump into the end zone, the guy twisted his freaking knee,
Yeah,
so I don't think he's necessarily his health is a problem.
But I haven't finished, Irving. I haven't finished. Another big knock on him is when he does his little jump he does every time he catches the ball.
Oh, yeah, that too.
He always loses ground. Right. You saw that, right? When the Arizona game,
you're right.
Jump. He could have easily kept running. That would have been a touchdown. He jumped, fell, and then the corner got to time to down him. So that's my two biggest knocks when it comes to Preston Williams. Like, yeah, he has the height
and his hands.
He has the hands, the length, just like Parker does, and he runs consistently great routes and he creates separation. But my problem is that he gets in, and I agree Parker does too. It's just that both of them, when it comes down to you trying to get rid of Parker, you're trying to make the argument, we can keep Preston because he's cheaper and he's younger. But you also have to risk that once he goes down, you got to have somebody to back, have a replacement to either equal to him or a wholly completely different play set.
Well, God forbid, as long as it isn't, because we all know Will Fuller isn't the most healthiest guy either. But if he can stay healthy, if he can stay healthy, and Albert Wilson can stay healthy, and Waddle gives us solid production as a rookie, we can't ask for world beater production for Waddle. He's still a rookie. We hope it, but he's so dynamic. He's gonna be able to give us something because he's just.
And real quick, Damien, just like a little statement to add on to what you were saying right there, is that's the reason why I kind of want to keep Parker, is that if he does go down, you have somebody similar like Wilson, like Preston to replace him. But also, if Wilson, you got it. That's why I'm saying it's hard to kind of justify keeping a lot of receivers on the roster, but it makes sense because right now, majority of receivers that we got are injury prone. They have a history with injury.
I agree with you 110%. I'm talking about not this year getting rid of DeVante Parker. Of course, this year keep him, but I believe, this is my opinion, that by the end of this season, when we're going on this push, to postseason, that we're gonna have a clear idea of who the number one receiver is. I don't think it'll be DVP no more. I truly believe that.
But you also got to. But you also got to remember that.
Who do you think is going to be Go ahead.
No, I was going to say that they're not going to, push a Waddle in there, as quickly as people think that he's going. He's going to start off slow. They're going to ease him in there.
We can't expect that. Yeah. I think Will Fuller's going to take over the role of the number one receiver.
Will Fuller. Real quick, Dame. Will Fuller is suspended. The first two games.
One game.
It's one game. I thought it was two.
Yeah.
No, just the first.
Just the first.
Just one. Okay.
Yeah.
Another thing.
Albert Wilson's going to be a real good friend for Tua Tagovailoa. I think Albert Wilson.
I agree.
Is playing for his career.
Yeah. I think Tua. Go ahead, brother.
I was going to say.
Guys, we got a minute and a half, and I got to get out of here. So,
real quick, guys, I just think that.
Pardon the interruption. Hey, let's go.
Yep.
60 seconds.
Talking about Preston Williams and DeVante Parker, both injury-prone guys, but we do need that point-of-catch guy, that physical wide receiver. So we're going to have to make a decision on who we're going to go with there, who we believe is going to be the right guy, and the other one will be cut or be traded, whatever. But we need one of those guys to be that physical wide receiver, point-of-catch guy.
I agree.
Especially in the red zone, right? Things get tighter.
All right, guys. I got to get out of here because I got the Black Widow and Scarlett Johansson waiting for me.
I feel sorry for you.
Oh man, I'm sorry. Oh man, go.
Man. So,
I feel sorry,
bro. I feel sorry for you. Still clinging on to that DeVante Parker hope, bro.
Hey, listen. I just let's just wrap it up.
Yeah, what Jamar Chase should have done. All right.
No, he should have just bathed. That's
what Sean Watson should have done.
Wiped his ass and then wrapped it up.
He should take a bubble bath.
Bubble bath. You take bubble baths, Pyro? Eh?
Nah.
Some bath salts, some bubbles.
You know what though?
A long brush that you scrub your back with.
Nah, you know what?
Shower cap.
What's it called?
Rubber ducky.
He needs a reach around. That's what he needs.
Oh.
He goes to Bed Bath & Beyond more than he goes to Publix.
Oh God! All right. Usually I do.
Don't sleep on Bath & Beyond.
Usually I do final thoughts, but I don't got 10 minutes for all of y'all. So I got to get out of here because the wife's waiting on me. On Sunday night, I'll be over on Dudley Durong's channel. We'll be doing a round table. Hey. So if you guys are around, go peep that out.
Great guy.
So I'll see y'all. Other than that, if you're there on Sunday, I'll see y'all on Sunday. If not, I'll see you guys back here on Monday. And yeah. All right. So I'll be finishing the final touches on my Raekwon Davis video this weekend. So it'll definitely be out next week.
Nice.
So, all right. All right, everyone. I hope you all stay happy, healthy, safe, and blessed. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your Friday night. Fins up all day, every day, baby.
Fins up.